a way to build this up. So depending, we'll try it a couple different ways. I'll just initially start it with the pen tool. So here I just have a new layer above it. I can zoom in a little bit. And just kind of thinking of it right now, I just have the fill, just Shift X to make it just a stroke. And trying to just click to set the curves. It's probably the easiest section to begin with. So I'm just going to draw it, go underneath this part that has the frosting to it, and Shift X. That's just at least the base, so I have that section highlighted to it. So I'll just switch that across to it. And zoom in a little bit and try to think. Now you have the tools, the pen tool, the blob brush tool that you can use. So again, just kind of seeing what would be the best option for that. So I'm just going to give it a color to start with. Like I said, this is, as you click, you have the space bar. You can move the point around as you still have it highlighted to that section to it. But there's just so many options that you now have with this section here. Just kind of changing that around there. So here I'm just going to Shift X, so now I have that piece with this type of shading that you can see. And I'm just going to select all of these segments. Right now they have the same color stroke. And I could try to do the effect and blur, and that'll give me some starts of it, but I could even use click X so it has the gradient in it. They're all separate, so I can select a different one for each one if I wish. Let's see if I can highlight this one. Use the gradient tool to stretch this across. It kind of gives me a little bit more flexibility with that section to it, and there's a highlight. Affect and blur the background. So like I said, it's a lot of options that you have to take a look at. So the blurred section sets it off in the back. The part that's on the top, I can select all of these items and just hide them under Object Hide temporarily. So I hit them just with a keystroke. And now I can take a look at this. Same idea with the frosting here. I'm just quickly going around, illustrating this. Shift X will put it just so it's the stroke. Highlight that over there. Fill that with a different color. Click on X to take that off. So that gives me a little bit to work with. Can use the arrow keys to enhance this shape. Just go to Object, Show All, or Command Option 3, and now I have that shape above it. I can look at it from here, and again, I'm just using the Direct Selection tool to modify these points real easily. The handle clicks out. The pen tool, if you didn't have the handle, you have the anchor point tool that you can use, and that'll get you a little bit of setup there. So here I'll try a different way. Taking this path, go to Object, Path, offset the path, and it's the unit of measures in points, so it makes it a little bit easier to do this. So there it is as a section, and fill it with a darker green. And just Option and set it up. So I have two pieces that I can use the Pathfinder on. Punch that through so it kind of gives me that shape. Take the Direct Selection tool, I can curve all of them at the same time. If I go to Effect, the latest effect that you used is up there, so it blurs that. So that gives you that softer edge to it. And this also can have a gradient. Remember, the gradients are listed. So you can come into this one. I'll just go into foliage there, X this one. gives you a little bit of a color, kind of a random choice. Here's the gradient tool. You can see that you can highlight it to change that edge to it. And again, as you come through these, you have the tools that you can use all listed when you come into all these parts here. Everything that you can imagine. Cancel that. So I'll come into here and just grab the blob brush tool and maybe take it with a lighter highlight. Let's see if I can use white. So it'll give you that selection to work from. So that'll give you a little bit of a highlight to choose from. Lighter green. Here's the effect again. And also you have transparency that you can place on here. Here's the transparency. And again, you can even try working in with some of these brushes. This is a little bit of a fade that you can try on this one. So it's just trying to set that section up. And I'll do one other option using the 3D. I'll let you get that illustrated first, see how you do on creating that. So just kind of using the pen tool, some of the gradients, the effects to build it up into that, and you can still edit this with the direct selection tool, placing it on there, adding or deleting points.